to start with what you achieved at the club level this year, celebrating with Crystal Palace, the FA Cup. I mean, take us through that. What was that like, and when did the celebrations finally die down? Are they still going a little bit?
It was amazing, you know. I guess bringing the first trophy back to Crystal Palace, I think it was an amazing feeling. You know, seeing people in the crowds just emotional, crying, and seeing generations of Palace fans in the stands, knowing that they hadn't won anything, and being able to bring that back to South London was amazing. But again, I mean, we pretty much celebrated until Sunday when I got here. That was the last day of celebration. So it was a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, talk about the Sunday scaries. I mean, okay, you know, when you achieve something that like the fan base has kind of been starved for, I'm sure you see some weird stuff. Like, what was the craziest thing you saw during the celebrations?
I saw a guy in like a Flash costume running around South London with like a Palace flag on his back. I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, I saw somebody get an Eze tattoo, like a picture of his face. So that's dedication. So I'd say it's pretty high up there as well.
I love it.
Wow.
Love it.
When you talk about dedication, obviously that is what got you guys into the final in and of itself. But talk to us about what the match was like. Of course, going against the Giants in Man City, having to shut down Erling Haaland. You know, you balled out personally, and of course, Dean Henderson stood on his head for you guys to be able to walk away with the trophy. So just talk to us about what the match was like for you experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, a few weeks before we had played City, and we scored 2 pretty early on, and I think we got a little too comfortable. And so we really wanted to change that in the final, and we scored early. But again, we decided that, you know, it's just the time to even get more, or to get even more serious, and just to continue playing our game. You know, as a defender, you really don't want your goalie to have to make that many saves. But when your goalie can't make that many saves, it gives you a lot of confidence. So for us, it was an amazing game from front to back, and I think it was a deserved win.
Okay, so we talk about, you know, going up against a player like Erling Haaland, but you have to compete against a lot of really talented attacking players in the Premier League. Who's the toughest one to defend, where you see the team coming up on the schedule and you're like, oh, this guy is just like, he's a piece of work?
Haaland's definitely on the list. I'd also probably say like Mbeumo and Wissa from Brentford. They're also a pretty good attacking duo. I mean, even though I do play this guy every day, you know, JP Mateta, he's a joke. You know, he's really strong, really fast, knows how to use his body. So I understand why people hate playing against him.
Yeah. Hey, iron sharpens iron, though, right? Like, you get to trade against it, makes you better.
Iron does sharpen iron. You talk about, you know, being able to use one's body very well. One of the things, of course, we've been talking about, you know, here on Morning Footy and throughout the media space is schedule congestion. But you've done an excellent job of keeping yourself available for club and country. How have you been able to manage your body, your mentality so well, so every single time you're called up for the national team, you're ready, willing, and able to go?
Yeah, I think there's a saying, it says, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so I think just being able to doing whatever you can day in and day out to keep your body healthy and to keep your mind healthy, I think it makes it easy when it comes to big opportunities like national teams. So again, I was really excited to come this summer. You know, it's always a great opportunity to play for the national team, and I think everybody who's here, they're really excited for it as well.
Yeah, a great opportunity, and look, like the clock is ticking. World Cup is fast approaching. Is there a sense of urgency that kind of is permeating within the group with this camp in particular and this upcoming competition?
Yes and no. I mean, I think, you know, time doesn't change, so we knew that the World Cup was a year away. But I think now it's getting to a point where we really need to kind of start showing our teeth. And again, the last 2 camps weren't our best camps. This last camp in Copa America last year weren't our best camps. But you know, we understand that it's time to get results. And again, I think everybody's really looking forward to the summer because we know it's a chance to win another trophy.
When you guys reflect on those camps and maybe the shortcomings of the group, you know, what are some of the takeaways in the areas that you really want to improve this time around? Like, what are the things you're working on, not just on the field, but off the field as well?
Yeah, I mean, off the field, I think we have a lot of new faces this camp, so it's just another chance to get to know everybody and build a stronger bond. But I think on the field, the number one thing that we took from those 2 camps was competitiveness. You know, I think sometimes we left a little bit out there on the pitch, and you know, we got punished for it. So whether it's training, whether it's a small-sided game, or whether it's 11 versus 11 against a different country. We need to be more competitive and start winning games.
And that makes perfect sense, Chris, to be fair with you. This is going to be your guys' last extended camp before the World Cup. Obviously, it's a year away, but for you, how would you define this extended camp as a success, embarking upon it now?
Every tournament I play in, I want to win. So I think winning a trophy would be a way to say that it was a successful camp. But again, just kind of building those bonds with the guys who usually aren't here, or having big opportunities in this camp, I think is another way. Again, nobody knows what the roster is going to be for the World Cup, so being able to build these bonds and relationships with these guys, so that when it does come time for World Cup, that we're all flying. I think that's another way to value success.
Yeah, I got one more for you in terms of just your football. We've seen you play in multiple positions, and that's typically not something that you see center backs doing at the highest level. Us center backs, we stay where we're at, but you've been able to play in the 6. It's helped your feet a lot, and I feel it's been able to help your vision and just overall confidence. But I want to hear from you, how have you really developed in playing multiple positions?
Yeah, like you said, playing multiple positions kind of gives you it gives you more vision at the end of the day. Playing the 6, it's a lot of checking your shoulders, not knowing what's behind you. I think once I finally moved back to center back, I think that it really helped with my vision and kind of seeing the play before it happens. So I feel like this year in particular was really big for me, not just off the ball, but on the ball. And again, I think I wouldn't have learned those different values if I hadn't played in multiple positions.
Well, Chris, you touched on, some of the players missing this camp, and obviously a big name is Christian Pulisic. For what he brings on the field is one thing, but, he's a leader on this team as well. So with an absence like that, what does that mean for you? Like, how do you want to keep developing as a leader to set that competitive tone in training and get the best out of this squad?
Yeah, like you said, it's a chance for me to step up. I think one thing about Christian is that he's not a vocal leader, but he's somebody who leads by example. So again, I think it's a chance for not just me, but everybody around here to step up, whether it's with their performance or whether it's verbally. And so I know a lot of us are ready and willing to take that kind of role on. But me in particular, that's something that I'd like to do as well. Like I said, Christian left some sort of gap, but I know that we have a lot of guys here who are ready to fill it. So I don't think it'll be a problem.
And how would you characterize your leadership style? Are you a more vocal guy in the group, in the locker room? Are you more raw? Is it when nobody wants to speak, you speak up? You lead more by example and don't talk much? How would you class your leadership style?
No, I'd say I'm a yapper pretty much. I think when people tend to think about me, they probably think I'm cracking jokes. But when it comes to being on the field, I tend to take it serious. And again, as a center back, you know it best. Everybody kind of hears your voice first. Do you Tyler Adams? You said, do you guys get into it? A little bit, again, Tyler this guy gets head loss every day, so it's pretty impressive, but I'll take second place to Tyler.
Okay, what's the best way to get a dig at Tyler Adams then? What have you picked up on? How do you get under his skin?
Just get a nice, strong tackle on him, and then just talk crap to him for the rest of the time. He doesn't like confrontation.
All right, Chris, incredible stuff.